Guys, so a lot of what you're going to hear are stories of things that have happened to other people. Now, why this is important is because when someone shares a story about what our Father's done in their lives or in somebody else's life, it gives you access to that same thing, to that same miracle, that same healing, that same moment of victory. So what that is our unchanging Father has shown part of His unchanging nature to you or to me. And so we can call on that again. What He's done for one person, He'll do for another. And in the book, in the middle, it says that the heritage of us, those who are following the way, is these stories. It's actually our inheritance. We get to take that and we get to run with it. At the end of the book, it says the stories about the Son are foretelling about what will occur. So when we talk about these things, we're actually releasing something that will happen. So I want to encourage you that every time you hear one of these, say, that's something I'm going to take. That's also mine. We're all connected. We're all part of a body. So my victory is actually your victory. And what I've learned is something you can just have. You don't need to learn it the same way. So take these, and especially if it's an area that you haven't seen that yet, if you haven't seen that healing or that miracle, know that it's especially for you, that you're one step closer. It's just, you're that far away. So keep at it and enjoy these. Eat these up, fill up, and be ready to go.
Hey guys, so I just want to talk to you guys about a tool that I've learned to overcome fear when talking to people. And I call it turning your love on. And there was a season in my life where I was really afraid to go talk to strangers, and I didn't want to approach them, and it felt awkward. And so then I started learning about myself, and I was like, I really have a huge heart for people, and God has given me a gift of compassion. And so I learned to use that when I talk to people, and all of a sudden it wasn't scary anymore. So before, I would look at people and I'd be like, it's going to be awkward, I don't know what they're going to think about me. And now, if I'm out, I'm like, okay, God, what do you think about this person? And when He tells me, all of a sudden that fear just melts away, and then I'm able to go love them.
This is about a man at a village where we did a medical clinic. He was a farmer, and he came up to me and asked me, told me he had a problem with his eyes. So I just gently put my hand on his head, and he couldn't speak any English whatsoever. And within a few seconds, he had been very verbal before, and he just completely stood there stunned with his eyes fixed in front of him. And I just wondered what happened. I thought he looked just so totally stunned. I didn't know what was going on. And I ran and got an interpreter and said, what's happening with this man? And I brought the interpreter up, and the man had perfect eyesight. And he was totally blind in the left eye before. So it was just amazing.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about an incredible testimony that happened this summer. I was in Yosemite National Park, spending some time with some family, and I was talking with God in the morning, and He shared with me that to be a handicapped man, that He was going to powerfully heal. As I got to the trail, wrapping up the hike that I did with my family, I saw this 16 or 17-year-old guy coming by with these blue crutches, the kind that you had since birth. I asked the Lord, I said, does he qualify? He said, absolutely. So as I just kind of followed him up the trail to the parking lot, I sat there with him and I said, hey man, how you doing? What's your name? And we began to speak a little bit. He was from Europe, visiting with his family. I asked him, I said, hey, what's going on? He said, I have pain in both of my hips. I've had it since birth. That's why I have these crutches. And I said, well, has anyone ever prayed for you? Have you ever experienced the power of God? He said, no. And I said, well, is it okay? Can we pray right now? And I prayed, and I didn't feel anything, but I heard God say, I want you just to have him go run. And I said to him, I pointed, just go run. And as I pointed, he did a loop back to me, and I saw his face. And as he was running back, his parents, so his sister, mom, and dad, you'll see this picture in just a moment, all came up. And as they came up, the mom was now holding the crutches as her son is running around, and the whole family is exuberant. The power of God was moving so amazingly in the open, not in a building, but in the open. So release that right now, the presence and power of God. Hey guys, I just want to tell you about an incredible testimony that happened the other day. As I walked into the grocery store, I noticed this man, and God had highlighted him to me. And as I approached him, I asked him if he had any pain in his body, specifically if he had any arthritis or anything going on. And it wasn't exactly arthritis, but what he had going on was a trigger finger, where his finger would stick every time he tried to bring his fingers out. And as I asked him, we just began to talk a little bit about his family and different things, just loving him. He said, you know, this isn't something that I've had for a long time, but I'd love to know how I can be better. And he's actually a physician. He's a gastroenterologist physician. So I released the presence of God as we began to pray. And as we did that, I said to him, hey, immediately just check it out. We got outside of his understanding, and he's looking at me, he's looking at his hand, and he can't believe it. We're just talking about his family, but he's looking down, and he can't believe that his hand is actually working, because everything he's known is, I'm going to have to get a surgery for this. That is the power of God at work. If you need that to move in your life right now, just come and ask him for his love, his powerful love, to come into your house right now. Just release that. The presence of God.